Okay, so here we are. We've pulled up all the flooring, all the tile, and that's where the toilet was. You can see the ring of mold and mildew, and come to find out they actually didn't put the flange on top of the flooring. They put it directly to the subfloor, which is a big no-no, and it allows that moisture to develop there. Granted, they did have a huge wax ring on the toilet that covered most of the flange and stuff as well, but I feel that some moisture obviously went through. The flooring itself is still intact and usable. So our next project is going to be tackling this adhesive. Now this is not thinset. Typically you put a backer board down using thinset and nails. They, for whatever reason, used a construction adhesive, and it's just slightly raised compared to the OSB that's down here. So we're going to see if we can scrape some of that off, and I have a new device that I'm going to be using for that. Other than that, we had to paint the walls, and we're going to paint the trim up and stuff. Got our wood sanded down there. The walls themselves needed 2 coats, and I'm using a wall paint and primer combination by Dutch Boy. But as you can see, there's still some blue bleeding through in here. Maybe you can't see that because of the lighting. Let me turn on the lights here real quick. Maybe that's better. If I get close, you can see some of the bleed through of the dark blue that was here. So we're going to go put a 3rd coat on these walls just real quick, get these corners done up because those were difficult. The roller I used put a texture on the wall, and this is a satin for bathrooms, so we're going to go ahead and finish up the cut lines here, get those 3rd coat, and start doing the flooring. Alright, well, stand by. Okay, so we scraped up the floor. We have gotten our cement board for our underlayment cut and ready to install. And we did a dry fit throughout. And we've actually started doing the install. We're using a porcelain, which is it's a thinset, but it's for porcelain. It's a modified polymer thinset. You can look this up, find out what you need, and we're going and using that as a thinset between the subfloor and the cement board. So that's what we're working on now. We have all of these pre-cut before we got into doing the install itself, and we have another bathroom to do, and I can show you that at a later time. We have some weather coming in, and this is a cold bathroom, so I want to get this done as quickly as possible so that we can save some energy as far as heating and all that. Plus it'll take longer for this stuff to dry, so I am on a deadline here. So we started mixing some thinset on this side and ran out of the bucket, so we're having to wait for this to kind of solidify and gel a little bit. There's our bag of thinset. This is a 50-pound bag. Hopefully it's enough to do this entire bathroom, using a 1/4-inch trowel here. So as you can see, progress is coming along. Walls are painted. We're going to do the trim last, obviously, but once this dries, we're also going to use nails. So once the nails are set and this dries, hopefully in 24 hours, we're going to come in and start measuring for tile. We have some 12 by 24 inch tiles that we're going to be putting down, so that'll be interesting. Let's see, what else can I tell you about this particular part of the project, other than it's a pain in the butt, because I've never used this kind of thinset before, and it is kind of a hassle to mix, especially in small batches, because the bag wants you to use the entire 50 pounds, which I didn't think I was going to have to, but now I do think I'm going to have to, but I've already started making small batches, so my calculations would be off completely trying to follow their instructions as far as mixing appropriately. So make sure you do your research, know what you're doing. that's something I did not want to get involved with as far as a YouTube video, because it's all different depending on what manufacturer of thinset you go with. So make sure you know what you're doing. The instructions on the back of the bag for this one are not easy for a typical do-it-yourself homeowner to do, so I had to do my due diligence online and kind of come up with something that worked for me. And whether or not it works is yet to be seen. So on to the next, I guess. Stay tuned.